Hi, and welcome to another episode of Head in the Clouds Working Wise. My name is Alicia, and today we have the privilege of being with Ragnar Pitla. He is an author, a speaker, and an employee at Microsoft, and he's leading the way in the AI space. So Ragnar, it's a pleasure having you here today, and we're really curious and eager to know your journey. So if you don't mind, take us through your process and help us to understand how you got to where you are today.
Hi, Alicia. So thank you for the welcome, and I appreciate this opportunity to talk to you and then be on your podcast. You do a lot of amazing things on the community space and LinkedIn, so I appreciate that. And for your question, I am an AI architect now, but it didn't start with any large language models or GPUs or agents to begin with. It all started as a business analyst. So I started in the trenches in enterprise systems. I worked within CRM space. Initially I started in MDM, Master Data Management. Then I became an architect slash manager for ERP. So I started working in finance and operations, AX at the time, and then I helped with finance and operations, but mostly working directly with the customers. Then came the partners and engineering teams across D365, sales, service, and predominantly finance and operations and supply chain. So if you ask me where my journey started, it started as a business systems analyst in healthcare industry to becoming an AI architect. And over the years, I've learned what's the next thing I need to do. And I picked up AI was catching up in early 2022 because that's when we started doing all the Power automated flows. And I started learning machine learning and other things. And that kind of helped me to understand. And also I was trying to place myself to learn more and be that leader in the space or be the first one to understand and adopt with AI technology.
So along the way, so when you started out, so what did you major in at college?
So I started as an aeronautical engineer. So I did my master's in undergrad in aeronautical engineering in UK. So I studied in aeronautical engineering. I wanted to become an aerospace engineer. I did become a pilot over the course of time. So I'm a private pilot. So I fly planes and stuff. But when I moved to the US, one of the biggest things was I got this opportunity to work with a company called Sanofi. So they were doing this product for data read and prep engine. It was mostly mathematics and understanding and coding something to get help for the product that they were building. So that's how I got into IT. And then slowly I fell in love with numbers again. Mathematics is all somewhere kind of related. Then I jumped into the finance position where I was working and helping with master planning, demand planning, for our company in Oracle at the time, but then slowly we moved to AX and then Dynamics 365.
So I'm a little curious, how did you get your first opportunity in the Microsoft space? Did you seek it out or did it just kind of happen? Tell us that story.
Awesome. In terms of Microsoft, I think Microsoft is across, in every company, there is some product that's Microsoft. Yeah. So to begin that journey within Microsoft ecosystem was not that hard. There was always an opportunity. Like I said, I started in the master data management. So data was the key thing for me. How we process data, how we are using that data, how we can use Power Automate to do that. So that was my entry point into Microsoft. Then slowly I started looking at how connected systems are. Then I became a manager for our ERP and CRM space, and then I was leading different members in my team. But to begin, it started with master data management, then CRM, field service, then later AX, and now FN.
And so now you've actually written a book about this, right? So tell us about your journey to becoming an author about AI.
Yeah, when AI was accelerating, like right before ChatGPT came, it was very clear for me that companies who wouldn't use AI or machine learning or something were going to slow down anyways. But one of the big things I learned was this is one of the best things about ChatGPT and AI. Most people might not realize this, which is it kind of democratized AI for everyone. Previously, I remember only IBM used to have these machine learning models that could help a company, or a company has to invest in something, a lot more money to get any kind of machine learning. So when I was thinking about my AI first architecture, I was researching those companies when AI acceleration happened. People were talking about how AI is going to embed into your systems and thinking. So my first thinking was, like I said, I started with data, MDM, Master Data Management, and all. AI needs good data. So when I was writing my book, AI First Enterprise Architecture, that was the core as well. But when I joined Microsoft, I joined in a team called Center of Excellence. So in my team, one of the things we do is we have a various architects from different fields. So one of the things I learned is having that Center of Excellence team to do a certain aspect of your business is very important. And that's what I speak in my AI First Enterprise Architecture. The reason for writing that book was also I was looking at a lot of fragmented teams and people trying to attack AI or try to bring that into AI. There was a FOMO for AI. So what I decided was, okay, I need to bring this framework and thinking that we are using internally as Microsoft, as well as what I have experienced and learned and researching about how people used to use machine learning and how they have built their architecture to support that machine learning models. So that's what led me to write that book, where I wanted to talk more about process becomes autonomous, agents reason and act across systems, not just one system. And throughout, ERP evolves from a system of record into system of intelligence. So that's what I was thinking in terms of, okay, how would I write this book in terms of AI first architecture with data, but then add in the Center of Excellence and other things that I've learned working in Microsoft and other companies.
So I've actually watched some of your recordings that you put on YouTube, and part of what you tell people and help educate people on is the need to be intentional with AI. So AI is not something you just kind of blanketly throw into your organization and kind of hope it works. It's something that you're very intentional about, and you want AI to fix or to facilitate or work beside a specific business process. Can you kind of walk through that? Because I know a lot of the people watching this podcast are interested in AI or utilizing AI in their business, but I think there's this, the way it's getting marketed pretty globally is that it's just like the fix all for everything. And I don't really think that's the reality. I think the reality is that it's very powerful, but as with anything powerful, you have to be intentional with how you use that power. So could you kind of talk us through that if someone's actually interested in putting AI into their organization?
Yeah. And to be honest, we are all new at this space. So when I say I'm an AI architect, I'm looking at different architectures that will work with AI capabilities. So if you are an ERP consultant or business architect or developer or solution lead, you already have the raw ingredients. Understanding how business runs is key, and knowing where AI can create leverage or designing different systems is also going to come to you. But the reason for my videos was I realized we have a lot of amazing architects, including yourself, myself as well, and others. One of the things we do is we already used to build a lot of autonomous systems before. We used to create code by code or think out of the box, use Power Automate. We actually have all the ingredients to do that. Mm-hmm. The only issue is sometimes we fall back to the old methods of, okay, I would export this data and then write a code to do something else. But with AI, you could do different things. And my background in CRM, F&O, supply chain, one of the things it kind of helped me, and also my strategy of ERP or whatever I was working, positioned me to bridge these both worlds together, which was deep business architecture and also understanding the next generation AI capabilities. And when I was learning this, I realized it's much better for me to share with the people and get the feedback. And one of the things we can do is we could think of amazing solutions in isolation and think it works. But if you put it on YouTube or outside, you actually have a lot of good feedback from people on, hey, I like the idea, but we could improve it this way. Because as a community, we have a lot of knowledge and resources. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to do that through my YouTube. That's my real intention, to show some leading thing I'm thinking about, and then listen to the audience and also work with customers, our partners, to see how we can make that into reality, but also enhance it from where I started. And if you are someone who's thinking of using AI or becoming an AI architect, one of the things you need to remember is you already know the business architecture, the rules, or how the business has to work. Now all you have to think about is, hey, what are the capabilities I have today with AI, which is important. But also, a lot of the times I realize people are already stopping their thought process because current AI cannot do certain things. Mm-hmm. But if you look at ChatGPT 5 few months ago, it changed everything already within few months. So you need to start thinking of those AI solutions, whether the AI capabilities are there or not, because they will come in way shorter time than over the past 10 years, right? In last 10 years, I remember if I needed a feature, I have to wait like 6 to 10 months. Now we could create that feature and deploy that feature and do all the things with AI within few days and a week. I still work with enterprise, so I want to do some due diligence. It's not about vibe coding. Vibe coding helps you to like think of outside the box. But once you want to do actual solution and work with them, you need to do enough testing. And that's where, as you build more solutions and think more of next generation AI capabilities, you will evolve. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm still evolving and learning in that space as well.
My thought process around AI is to look at the business and find things that you do repeatedly. Like if there's something you do at the end of every month, or you send out certain pieces of communication to your customers on a cadence. In my mind, those are things where AI could step in and automate those pieces. Is that the right way of thinking about AI, or what would be your approach to, like, how, if someone is listening to this saying, okay, you're telling me to evaluate my business. Okay, I know my business, but what about my business am I intentionally looking at and thinking, oh, maybe AI could do that? What would be those pieces of the business processes you would ask someone to look at?
Okay. In my view, one of the things is there are a lot of layers to this. We can go multi-agent architecture. But in terms of true agentic thinking or context, I would bring it with the context vision. So let's say we are talking about true AI ERP. So you're thinking of AI, and I've seen all your videos, and you know the process, business process, and everything within our Dynamics is ERP out. You also know how our customers are using that with, let's say, CRM or supply chain and other things or external signals, but we built them outside. So if you want to build a true AI ERP that requires merging of CRM, ERP, supply chain, finance, and all these external signals, you know how you can fuse them all with AI, and then you can actually come with a better solution. So that's how I would see it. If you're thinking automate only, one of the things is that's one of the pillars. But if you think out slightly just above, I could think of one example. I haven't written this, but in my view, I'm thinking I am doing master planning or demand planning or something I'm doing. But also on the CRM side or sales side, there is a company I spoke at the Gartner event last week. They were doing this. They are asking me about how would I build a solution which helps my sellers as well as my planning team to understand what I need to build in my inventory, as well as get the right leads for my sales. So they have this product that has a shelf life of 5 years. So they know this customer has bought it 3 years ago, 4 years ago. They have to replenish in 2 years, in next 1 year. So taking that customer data, so instead of just doing demand planning, you could actually look at that customer data and bring that in and say, okay, I have 600 customers who are going to be looking for this inventory in the next 6 to 10 months. And then and my marketing team has to go and reach out to these people. That's one agent. But if you actually think of an agentic solution, it not only works with that prediction, but also sends that prediction to our demand planning, where demand planning team also can look at the customer data and they get that insight. But if you are building an agentic solution, one of the things I would do is, I was thinking about this solution very clearly was AI agents are currently used as like, hey, I want an output for something. What is the best strategy? But what if we ask the agent, hey, I have these customers, 700 customers. They are going to put an order for about 10 to 15 million. But I'm also projecting this demand. My demand planning is saying this or whatever. AI agent is actually going to do a job of 2 or 3 people. What we should do is we should think about, hey, these are the 3 best options for you to go and implement in your company or in your next planning or whatever you're doing. These are the 3 reasons why each reason will have its own impact. So this will impact your P&L. This will impact your customer satisfaction. this will impact something. So imagine AI doing all that work and giving it to you as a report, and then you still have that Bob or Alicia or someone else look at the 3 report and then say, oh, I like option 2 because it affects my customer satisfaction. That's what I'm trying to achieve. So that's what you should be thinking of using AI to build those.
So it's really doing these complex business scenario what if analysis. So that way you, instead of a person building these models or doing these different calculations in a spreadsheet somewhere, the agent actually goes out there and says, okay, if you did this scenario, this would be your financial impact or your turn time or your inventory valuation, revenue, whatever. And then you can then make decisions based upon that. So it's,
it's clearly really the business outcome. We need to think about the business outcome. I was also I was at Ignite the other week, and I was talking to one of the ISV vendors. They do this thing where they can do the tax thing very fast with the AI now. Mm-hmm. So what would happen is we are in holiday season now, right? So a lot of transactions happening, a lot of changes in discount codes, a lot of things that are happening. And if you're in retail space, they are saying that they can do your taxing very fast. But that's what their pitch was. But if what I looked at it was, when I look at it, it helps me to close my books faster, right? That's the biggest problem, especially January 1st coming, right? So we are thinking all these things, right? So it's not a tax agent that you have built. You actually built an agent that helps you to close your books faster. That agent is actually impacting the other areas of your business. So when you think of that, but imagine now, if you include the tax agent with the business closing agent, and they both can work together, and then they can talk together saying, hey, you sent me this tax thing, but there is a discrepancy here. Can you fix it? So the agent will do the task or send a report to someone, and they can do that for you. And the agents can talk to each other. That's the new multi-agent architecture I'm very interested in. It's like compounding your own Avengers team. So you build different teams and you design this system where agents collaborate, negotiate, even validate, or even escalate sometimes, but act across different applications, not as a standalone prompt, but this one prompt that you put it in your, let's say, book closing agent or something, that can go and talk and say, oh, I found this anomaly in this tax report. Then it goes, talks to the tax agent, and then that does the job for you, and then brings it back. This was the reason, and these are the things. And not only that, it shows you what's the issue, but it also shows you how you should fix this. What are the options you have within your system? So working with Microsoft or Dynamics 365, one of the things we can do is our agents can look at our system. They understand how the system works. They understand how to fix that issue. So we can automate through MCP to go fix the issue in the tax or wherever, whichever the order item or whichever the line item or whichever the process order or sales order, can go there and do the fix for you and then come back, and then you can approve it. So if you think like that, that's when you think of an AI system. But at the high level, we are still talking autonomous, but there are different layers to it. But because when we just say autonomous, it just negates the value of AI. If you think of the whole outcome, what it's doing is it giving you that capability to do these complex thought process or interactions or options for you through AI outputs.
So this kind of comes full circle. That's why at the beginning of this, you were saying that you really need to know your business and what you want the business to accomplish, because that's the complex thinking that's going to help you determine what kind of agent you need or you need to build to accomplish whatever that business goal is inside of your organization. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that's really, really helpful, because I think a lot of companies kind of grapple with that because it's the nice shiny thing right now. It's this shiny object, and everybody, and again, it's kind of like FOMO, right? People are worried that they're going to get behind, but they don't know what to do with it. So I think it's really helpful to help someone break that down and understand what it could do for their business. So then they start analyzing their business at a very holistic level. Like you said, across applications, not just inside of D365 finance and supply chain or whatever ERP you have, but holistically across your business. Human side of this a little bit. So I know you didn't get to where you are today by yourself. There's always people on your way in your journey that kind of impact you or help steer you in that path. So are there maybe like one or two people that were in your path, or maybe circumstances? I know you mentioned that you went to got your grad degree in the UK, and then you moved to the US. And so were there any kind of turns or pivots along your journey that you would could maybe share with us, that maybe they were painful moments, maybe they were just pivotal, non-emotional moments, but could you kind of share something with us there to help us know what your personal journey was?
Awesome. I get this asked a lot, even with youngsters, and even especially in this agentic vision, right? We want to transform businesses where humans work with agents, right? We co-work and we work together in this agentic enterprise or whatever is coming in the future. In my view, one of the best things that happened to me was I was always interested in talking solutions or just going and doing things. So one of the things I've learned early on was, one, you need to have a manager who can help you go do the things as well. So that's a possibility even now with my current boss, who was Chris. He helped me to do things. And someone told me this in my experience, not only at Microsoft, even outside, was, Ragnar, I love that you don't get afraid to fail. So a lot of the times, if you think of my idea in the first time when I pitched the idea to you, you would think it's crazy or it's stupid or it's not going to work. So that was always a thing. But slowly, one of the biggest lessons I've learned was you should not think of those things, or you should not give more value to those comments or those feedback. That's not the right feedback. So if you ask me what is the one thing, so start sharing the idea with 10 people instead of 1 or 2, because then you'll find the core people who actually will believe in you or guide you or say, oh, maybe you could do this or so you find you find companions, you find someone who will support you, someone who will guide you. So you have that kind of thing once you start talking to more people. So if anyone asks me what's the one thing that you learned over the years is, one, not being afraid to fail. But the second thing is always about talk to more people so you find the right alliances to go where you want to be. So even if the path that you want to take is very difficult, you'll definitely find someone along the way. And I really like this quote from, I cannot exactly say it, but Steve Jobs once said, the life around you that you call it life, or the products you use, we're all designed by someone like you and me. So a lot of the times we try to think oh, I cannot think of agentic ERP because I'm just an architect or a consultant. Or I cannot think of an agentic enterprise because I work in a small team as an AI architect or an ERP architect. I only work in ERP, so I cannot think of an agentic enterprise. So once you start thinking, you cannot do this. So I don't think I have it on, but my main thing is to make it happen. So the goal for you has to be around, even for me, every day it is always around, I feel like this is going to work. That's how I started my AI journey. So no one was talking. This was right before ChatGPT. I remember clearly me and my wife were in Thailand. And I was like, oh, I would like to take this machine learning course. I want to know what's happening. And I just took the course. I didn't know that it would land anywhere. At the time, I was working with a supply chain company. They were doing something in the supply chain in the factory, and we were trying to automate things. And I was like, I think machine learning would be way better here because you can scan all of it and then use the data to do something. And then it turned into AI. And then also the other thing I would say that I learned is pivot fast. With a lot of the things you have to do is you think of a solution, you put all your money in the basket, but then you don't have to be afraid that you fail. And it touches to that same thing I said, I'm not afraid to fail, is you try to go forward, and if you see something not working, pivot and go do the other thing. And a lot of the times you can always come back in a circle. In terms of people, I know a lot of people, I cannot name everyone, but there was Bora, Don, and a few other people who actually invested and believed in me that I can actually do F&O side of it. Because I started in CRM, and that also helped me to think a lot more about sometimes you need to give chance to people, and they gave me a huge chance. From aeronautical engineering to leading a supply chain side of it, or building a data read and prep engine, all of these things are not something that are sequential in my path at the time. but I just got an opportunity and I said, I'll just go grab and then go where it takes me.
You know, one of the things that you're talking about, I see it over and over and over again as highly successful people. One is they're not afraid to fail. Two, they have a growth mindset. And three, they surround themselves by people that will help them be successful. Because we can't do this journey of life alone. So we will become like the 3 to 5 people we include in our circle. So I think being really intentional about who's in that circle and who's influencing you and having that open-minded growth mindset is probably how you got to where you are today. And are you carrying, and I'm sure you are, you're carrying those same traits forward with the people that you're managing now. So it's really a ripple effect. You know, you get those chances early on whenever you start, and then you take opportunities. I think one of the things, even for me personally, is what has helped me be successful is I take advantage of opportunities. I don't wait for it to hit me over the head. I look for opportunities and then I take them and then I see where it goes. And it's almost like it's the whole saying is that the further you go, the further you can see. You never really know where you're going to end up, but as long as you're in that upward growth trajectory, you're in the right path. It doesn't mean you're not going to have ups and downs, but everything is getting you to where you are. So I think that
makes sense. And I believe in the community aspect too. That's how we met.
Yes, I know.
I remember, and also this is a fun joke, but remember we were talking once like, hey, by Jan 1st, I want to get MVP. You were thinking, and I said, I want to join Microsoft. And then we both achieved those two things literally at the same time.
I know.
So that is
so
something
cool.
we can, that's like what you said is true, like surrounding yourself with the right people. And also, right people get attracted to you once you are positive and then you're just trying to help. In my view, all I want to do is help make more people become AI architects. Mm-hmm. I am no person to say that I have become that person, but I would love to take you all on this journey together with me. And we will all learn together. And if someone's ahead of me, I'm always learning from them. If someone's behind me, I'm sharing them everything. It's clear transparency. There is so much space in this world for us to build amazing solutions. So everyone can bring so much to the table. So that's the other thing I believe in.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And kind of going back to how we met, is you reached out to me on LinkedIn kind of out of the blue, and we started a conversation, and I was on your podcast. And so here we are full circle, but a year and a half, 2 years later. And it's such a beautiful thing being in the community. And again, to your point, you get attracted to those other people that have the same energy or the same desire to help people grow, because you and I both do what we do to help other people grow. And because we know when we grow together. And it really it raises a tide for everybody. So it's a joy. It's been a joy to watch your journey. I mean, I've been on the sidelines watching you, and I know we text each other and reach out, and it's been such a pleasure to watch you grow and get energized by the work that you're doing.
Thank you.
So Ragnar, I have one last question for you. So if you could have any superpower in the world, like you could do anything, what would it be?
So the only superpower or something I would need is I want AI to learn how to talk with dogs.
I love that.
My agentic vision is how can you talk with the dogs? I think this whole multiple agentic vision, or because multimodality has come in, so I want to just point camera to my dog, and then I want AI to talk to me what my dog is thinking.
You know, Ragnar, I think your wish might come true one day. I think that one day somebody's going to crack that code, and who knows, it might even be you.
Yeah, I think definitely not me, because I'm not touching anything biological, and especially hurting my dog, maybe. But that is one thing I would love to have. I think I don't want that superpower myself. I want the power to be able to have that tool available for me.
Yeah, there you go.
I could see, because I also think they are listening to all these meetings. I don't know how much AI they know.
That's right. You may have already solved all your problems. You don't even know it.
Maybe it's like you should have just built a RAG system for it. So they might already know the solution.
I love that. And you know, that's a beautiful thing about being human, is we have the ability to dream. And then like right now, you're living in someone else's imagination. the room you're sitting in. I'm living in someone else's imagination right now, talking through the camera to you. You're in New York, I'm in South Carolina. So the power to dream is also the power to create. And I think that's one of the most beautiful things about being human. And really, there are no limits. And it's just a beautiful thing to see, watch you grow and to kind of see how all this AI stuff unfolds. And I'm sure together we're going to make the world, or we are making the world a wonderful place to be. So again, thank you, Ragnar, for being with us today. And until next time, keep your head in the clouds and keep working wise.